episode 375, I will be talking about a new episode of AEW Dynamite. Sting celebrating his 64th birthday in a trios match. A tag team puts it all on the line. And the dream match right here, right now, 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Welcome, Wrestling Fanatics. This is a new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. I am Lance Brock. It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It is time to talk about an all-new episode of AEW Dynamite for March 22nd, 2023. Tonight, All Elite Wrestling Dynamite was live in Independence, Missouri at the Cable Dahmer Arena. The commentators, Tony Schiavone, Excalibur, and Taz. Dynamite opens off right off the bat tonight outside of the arena, and we see two ambulances containing Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson. Brandon Cutler gets in the ambulance with Matt, and Hangman Adam Page gets in the ambulance with Nick, as Don Callis and Kenny Omega stay at the arena with the dream match taking place tonight. Kenny Omega taking on El Hijo del Vikingo. And then we go into the arena for our trios match. As I mentioned at the top of the episode, Sting celebrating his 64th birthday this week. Just turned 64 a couple days ago. Teaming with Darby Allin and the AEW International Champion, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, taking on the team of Kip Sabian, the Butcher, and the Blade, with the super bad girl Penelope Ford in their corner. Pretty good match here. Good trios match to start off this week's episode of Dynamite. And like I talked about on GMWF this morning, Sting, even though he is 64, and wouldn't really say he's wrestling on a regular basis, but when he does have a match, he can still definitely go. And as he would say, it's showtime, folks. And Sting, Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy get the win in this opening trios match. And the AEW World Tag Team Championships were on the line. Top Fight challenging against the Guns. Not a bad match here. There's some interference from the Kingdom, Mike Bennett and Matt Taven with Maria Kanellis. They attack Top Flight. The Guns retain the World Tag Team Championships. And as they are celebrating their victory, we are joined by FTR, and the Guns say they will not give FTR a title match. Cash Wheeler then says if they do not beat them, they will never challenge them for the AEW World Tag Team Championships again. And Austin Gunn says that if there is nothing they could offer them to give them a tag team title shot, and then Dax Harwood gets on the mic and says if they do not defeat the Guns, that they will quit AEW. So then it is made official, which I'm sure this is going to definitely get the speculations and the rumors, or as Bruce Pritchard would say, rumor and innuendo, started coming up in April when their contracts are up with AEW. And there's been a lot of talk about what is next for FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler. If they're going to resign and stay with AEW, or if they'll be going elsewhere. Possibly a return to WWE. There has been some rumors and discussion about that as well, but who knows? We will have to see what happens in this tag team championship match when it takes place. And next up, no disqualification, and the Firm is banned from ringside. Stokely Hathaway wrestling his first match in 2 years, I think, and taking on the FTW champion, the cold-hearted, handsome devil Hook. And Hook gets the win here. Not that there was a lot of people betting that Stokely Hathaway would have defeated Hook tonight, but Hook is victorious in this no disqualification match. And we now see Adam Cole, baby. He hypes the debut episode next week of AEW All Access, which will air on TBS right after Dynamite. And not only that, next week, but it will be the in-ring return of Adam Cole. And he is interrupted by Daniel Garcia, who I thought actually cut a pretty good heel promo here, talking about while Adam Cole is gone, how he stepped up, and he says he's like a locker room leader now. And the match is made next week. Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia, representing the Jericho Appreciation Society. Should be a good match. I'm looking forward to seeing that next week. And I didn't put it in my notes right when it happened, but we find out from Excalibur that he received a text message from Brandon Cutler, the best friend of the Young Bucks, and he says that the Blackpool Combat Club were the ones that were responsible for the attack on the Young Bucks earlier on in the night. And now, speaking of the Blackpool Combat Club, Jon Moxley, along with Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, takes on Stu Grayson, who is accompanied by the Dark Order. It is, once again, I gotta mention, good to see Stu Grayson back in AEW, who returned last week in Winnipeg, in his home country of Canada. But it is Jon Moxley getting the win with the Death Rider. And then after the match, the Blackpool Combat Club go for the attack again. Our next match, we have the Outcasts, represented by Tony Storm, taking on Sky Blue. Storm gets the win. And now it is time for our main event of Dynamite this week. The Dream Match, Kenny Omega taking on El Hijo del Vikingo. Fantastic main event this week. The commentators, I thought, did a good job of talking about and kind of hyping it up, where this match was actually supposed to take place in 2021, but Kenny Omega injured at Full Gear. That match was postponed and did not happen, and now we are seeing it here on Dynamite. Great main event. Kenny Omega gets the win with the one-winged angel. Also, but before that, fantastic 630 by Vikingo threw a table to the floor. But Omega, the victor in this one. But then after the match, we see the Blackpool Combat Club make their way to the ring and attack Kenny Omega. And then all of a sudden, we hear sirens. But no, it's not what you think. This was not the AEW debut of Scott Steiner. But instead, we see in the parking lot an ambulance returning to the arena, and driving it is Hangman Adam Page. And he makes his way into the arena to the ring with a board with nails in it. Only a few nails in it, not like Biss's Janice, but just a few. And the Blackpool Combat Club retreat as Hangman makes the save for Omega. Now this is where it kind of gets a little weird, I guess you could say. Don Callis acting a little weird, and then he kind of sneaks up on Hangman, and Hangman, of course, not knowing for sure who it is, kind of raises the board up, and then Callis jumps back, and then he goes down, takes a bump, and then when Omega comes to, he sees Callis down, and Callis is selling and acting like Hangman hit him with the board, which did not happen, but Omega is upset, thinking that Page hit Don Callis. Now, where this is going, I'm not sure why exactly Don Callis would be setting up the Hangman. Could we see, I just started thinking after that happened maybe to replace William Regal as the manager of the BCC. Maybe Don Callis end up switching sides and joining with the Blackpool Combat Club as their manager. Not that they really need a manager, Moxley, Castagnoli, and Willer Yuta, I would say, just with what happened here tonight could possibly happen. And also, I didn't mention this in the podcast, but in the back, Don Callis was talking about, maybe those kids going to the hospital is best for Kenny Omega, so he can just focus on the match tonight. But who knows what's going to happen there? We'll just have to wait and see. But that was tonight's AEW Dynamite. In my opinion, very good episode. Main event, great match. Fantastic wrestling match. The trios match with Sting, Darby Allin, and Orange Cassidy, very good. The other matches on the show tonight also good as well. So another solid episode of Dynamite this week. And now to get into a little bit of news. I just want to, as I talk about quite a bit post-wrestling, I just listened to an interview John Pollock and Brandon Thurston conducted, with, just one second, Mike Weber of Fight TV, which is a very good interview. I recommend listening to that if you haven't heard it yet, discussing all the shows that are going to be on Fight TV WrestleMania weekend. And I just want to kind of correct myself a little bit about Fight Plus. The price was $4.99, but it has gone up only a few dollars though. Now it is $7.99 a month, but still a great deal when you think about it, especially for this month. Only $7.99 for the WrestleMania weekend. The GCW Collective alone, it used to be somewhere around $150 for the whole bundle, all the shows that they do the weekend, and the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame as well. You get all of that, plus the Dax Harwood FTR live podcast included in it for only $7.99. Yeah, it went up a few dollars, but still, for all that, like I said before, the past few years or so, if you got the bundle, it was a little cheaper than ordering every show separate, but it was still about $150. So definitely $7.99, still a little cheaper. But I definitely recommend checking out Fight Plus, not only this month, but all the other shows that are on Fight Plus every week, every month. Definitely worth it if you haven't tried Fight Plus yet. And I saw this on the news, but also my mom told me that she was upstairs watching the show The Masked Singer, and the second wrestler has appeared on there, Alexa Bliss, Chris Jericho being the other one. Also, more Alexa Bliss news. She recently underwent a procedure after skin cancer concern. And unfortunately, some sad news. A fan who is known for attending Game Changer wrestling shows, Mike, and he been at, I don't know about all of the GCW shows, but a lot of them has unfortunately passed away. Condolences to his friends and his family. Very sad news. And that's all for this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, episode 375. Thank you everyone for tuning in. As always, I've gotten back on track doing episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic again. Hopefully we'll keep that streak going. So stay tuned for more episodes. But we'll be back tomorrow morning for another episode of GMWF, the Thursday episode. Be right here to hear that. 360 Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, follow Instagram, 360 Wrestling Podcast, Facebook, Twitter at 360 Wrestling Pod, the YouTube channels. As of right now, I expect the March 2023 Pro Wrestling Crate to be coming in the mail tomorrow, so stay tuned to the YouTube channels for an unboxing with my co-hosts for the unboxings, Bruiser Brody and Madison, who usually likes to make an appearance towards the end of the show. But stay tuned for that, hopefully tomorrow. Thanks again for tuning in to 360 Wrestling Fanatic tonight. Hope everyone had a great Wednesday. Hope everyone enjoyed Dynamite tonight. Until next time, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.